Hello everybody, this is All Blade this week. Welcome to my Wonderland, and look what I have for you today. It is finally, this has been a long time coming, the little Miss Evil herself, Tanya de Graaf. Who knew? I've never been a big fan of stories that had to do a lot with war or whatnot in them that kind of seemed a bit more similar to realistic wars, but it was fictional enough that I really got into the show, and the story just had me absolutely gripping. I maybe a little bit spoilers, but hopefully I highly recommend this series. It's definitely gripping, and I just love the absolute rivalry between being X and Tanya here. Oh, it's so good. I love isekais, and this is probably my top 5 isekai. So then, getting to this, I have quite a few things to unbox here from many different years. I've probably collected this over a span of 2.5 years, and I finally get to unbox the majority here with you. I've always had a designated section for her in my collection, so a shrine was always an idea, but I just haven't had the chance to unbox anything, and a few things accumulated. So finally, let's just start cracking open this first box. Can you hear that? Kevin's in the background there. Hi, Kevin! So first, we have this package of amiami, and oh, don't these girls look so adorable? So I can't remember what month that was, but this is when I'm pretty sure this is the Tanya Evil pop-up parade. Oh, and look, this is gonna be a bit of a joke. I was thinking you guys would have a bit of a rest of not seeing any albedo, but look, this is where these clear files went. I completely forgot where these went. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, so we've got the first one, so beautiful, and then this one's a bit more bashful and cheeky, yes. But of course I had to pick these up. I think these were the second release of these clear files, and this one is such an epic artwork. I think it would be cool to have a figure of this one. But yeah, so I was happy I could pick these up and not miss out on these ones. And look, we have even an albedo acrylic. And you know what's hilarious about this? Is I actually saw this on amiami sold out, and I thought, how did I not get that? That is so adorable. It's just like little chibi albedo holding ice on my pillow. It's just too perfect. And it turns out I had it all along. So there you go. Anyway, it's not about albedo. Have a rest there. Let's look at Tanya. Now, I couldn't believe that they were going to do a pop-up parade of Tanya. And she is so petite. She's probably going to be the shortest pop-up parade. But I was very excited because Tanya the Evil she has more than some smaller series characters would have figure-wise, but still, even then, the few that have been released have been really difficult to get and skyrocketed price-wise. So them being able to make a bit more of affordable one is pretty awesome, so I can't wait to look at that. Now then, this is a box from Bai, accumulated a few things in here, including I'm especially excited about that big box in the back. And let's have a look at some of these envelopes here. And this is a special edition Japanese manga. I can't remember which one this exactly is. The art of Tanya the Evil, the manga art is just, it's gorgeous. The covers, I am so obsessed with the covers, the art. If only they obviously went after the anime as far as recreating the figures because the art is so detailed, but I would love if they just did it for one where they got out all those details like some of the manga covers. Anyway, that particular manga came with this special acrylic set, and that's why I got that, because I thought it was really cool. Talking of acrylics, I've got another one from the Isekai Museum here, Tanya in a kimono. I have the albedo that goes with this set, and when I saw this, I thought I had to get it because it's probably the prettiest piece of furniture. And a little bit of a box here. It's unusual. I thought maybe a special event. I'm not too sure where this came from as far as if it was for a special event or the movie, but it is in a small acrylic in a box, and I thought it's adorable. Let's pick that up as well. Now then, let's crack open this big boy here, and oh yes, so this is probably the ultimate Tanya figure that I really wanted, and if anyone knows anything about this figure, the price of it skyrocketed. It was limited, it's by a fat company, and I just think it's so awesome because she's got a flight pack on there, and look how cool the box is. So I got this pre-owned from Bai. It is damaged slightly, but I think it just listed as a broken foot, maybe some wear, so don't get it if you're a perfectionist. And I'm like, for the price, it's still a decent price, but one that I was like, okay, I actually would be happy to pay for this after seeing it listed for like $400, which I'm not happy to pay for it. I think that one I ended up paying maybe 250 AUD back then, but yeah, no, so I'm super excited to check out this figure. Now another amiami box, and just checking out the artwork and this. So this is the most recent Tanya the Evil figure, and this was released last December. I know I'm still catching up on my yes. Backtracking a bit here, but yes, this came out last December, most recent figure, and of course I had to pick her up. A few people were a bit annoyed about the price, and oh my goodness, look at that display box, and look how clear it is. It's so hard to see figures sometimes, and this is 10 out of 10 for box display. I'm so excited. The colors, like the rich colors there, oh, so the aesthetic. But with my love of the character, I had to pick it up. So here we are. So I'm keen to check out those details. So let's start off small, I guess, and work our way up. Now we've got to check out this kimono one. Now this I would pre-order in an instant if this was the figure, but yeah, they wouldn't do that. I was surprised we got the chair one from last year's December pre-order. And looking at this, looks like it's going to be a nice quality print. Some acrylics you can tell they're a bit more pixelated than others, but this is really nice. I find acrylics from special events in Japan tend to be a really high resolution, which is appreciated. I love this kimono, and I think it's hilarious that her stance is like the umbrella, like how she holds her weapon. That was a nice touch, and I didn't notice that at first. I'm like, oh! Such a pretty pattern too, and the face is like, yeah, I will kill you. Oh, and let's bring out this one too. This box reminds me of some, like, I love Shakugan no Shana, and a few minifigures I've gotten, like old ones, have been in boxes like this, so it's really unusual. And you saw how we just unboxed that really high resolution one just in that packet, and here this is put in a box. Maybe it's definitely for aesthetic special feel, the box. It would have had to be for some sort of event. So yeah, but it's pretty cute, and this is a lot smaller than I thought. No, I don't mind. I had the intention of just adding it to the haul because I was like, oh, it's cute, let's add it to the shrine. And it's a very pretty, a bit more of like a, I was gonna say joyful, but her face kind of, I mean, all of her faces look intense, but this kind of looks sweet in a way. And of course the satisfying peel of these little pieces, which is, yeah, this comes together quite nicely. Look at that. Now I'm quite happy with that. I only spent a couple of dollars on that, though. You know, the danger of Bai is you buy some things really good price, bundle them together, and then the international postage, plus if you get taxes for your country, like for me in Australia, GST, it can add up. So great service to get things. I highly recommend using a Japanese proxy service, but be careful with shipping prices. Now this has a few extra books in it, so this is the special acrylic, which I have only seen listed a few times up. I think I managed to get this one for like $16, the manga, obviously not including postage, but I thought it was a pretty awesome addition. And there's a part of me that, like, should I open it or should I keep it sealed, because it's, you know, a limited manga thing, but I'm like, nah, let's open it. I absolutely adore the cover artwork with these two characters, and I think that's the other character that's always following Tanya. I wasn't too sure. I thought it was the Mary at first, but I'm like, no, because another part of me was like, that kind of looks like if Tanya was older, but that's just because the brown hair looks illuminated and looks just a bit more golden like Tanya's here. But the artwork is just, it's just divine, and I'm just had to pick up these acrylics as soon as I found out that they existed, and I just was searching one day and found them for a good price. I'm like, so those go together quite well, and don't they look so pretty as well? Let's have another closer look at that. Oh, Tanya. Okay, imagine a figure of this Tanya. Oh, that would be just divine, honestly. So evil. And I just love the magnificent brain of the character, this strategic, like, calmness and wanting to, like, going up against a being that is, you know, so called God, but they all call it being X, and just who is always changing the rules. I just it's crazy. It's like, and them just trying to win and get the, you know, basically the whatever agreed upon. But it's great. I just yeah. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. Look at these cute little kits. So this is another special edition manga, which I actually, now you can see I have two of. I got one, of course, ages ago, put it together, didn't film it, and then I saw another one up, and since I was making a bundle, and this one was cheaper than the first one I purchased, I was like, you know what, let's just add that on so I can have it in the other alternative pose. So yes, I do have two versions of this Japanese manga, and it won't just, I thought just for this video, easily open up, maybe I can open up like this, and it does, but I will be having a look at the books properly, of course, and hopefully adding them to this display, because they're just gorgeous. I cannot read Japanese, but I still appreciate having a Japanese manga book. As far as manga, I'm not the biggest manga collector. I have a few sets that I would love to get in full English and full sets of, but my heart is reserved for displaying figures with my limited space, I have to say, for the moment. Anyway, looking at these, I have to say, see those instructions? I feel like that is better instructions than some of the scale figures I've gotten for ages, and this is for like a little freebie with the manga. Talking of which, it would be cool to assess the different qualities between these two, since it's a cheap, well, I say cheap, but it's like the quality of this for like a manga extra, if you think like a kind of like a magazine extra, is pretty awesome. Here they're quite similar in coloration, and I think it's just the mouths were slightly different, but otherwise on point, and I think it's probably one of the coolest extras you could get with a manga. Look at the jacket there. See that I can look at her uniform underneath here just to give it a different edge, and yeah, no, I can appreciate that because it's such a tiny, intricate little figure, and I just love those. I'm not sure if it's from when I was younger and I loved collecting like Asterix and Obelix figures and stuff, but it's just, I just have this appeal to small, delicate things. Well, I guess that makes sense because I'm a figure collector. Anyway, looking at her sword as well, very nice details. So I'm glad I picked up the second one, and they were pretty easy to put together as well. Not to mention following the absolute amazing instructions. Not that you need them, but it's still, it's appreciated and very surprising. Just gonna click it in the base there. But I'm very impressed overall with the quality. Of course, I'm showing the cap here. It doesn't have a magnet though. Most amazing scale figures that we pay a fortune for should have magnets don't. I did have to use blue tack for the other one, which has been stayed in place, and of course the awesome jacket there. All together now. There you go. That's the awesome painted model kit that you can get with this edition, and it was really easy to get. I'm pretty sure, like the second one I got for $12, and obviously not including shipping. I feel like I've said that 3 times now, but still, I think it's a pretty awesome extra, especially if you're a Tanya fan, such as myself, obviously now. So getting to the Nendoroid. And I did not pre-order this. This is pre-owned as well. I think the majority of this is pre-owned, whether it's been opened or not, which just shows you how difficult it is to get some bits, and also how late I was to the hype of that is Tanya the Evil. I even only just saw the movie recently. I saw the series. I've seen the series probably 3 times, but I only watched the movie recently, which I will say the series is probably my favorite part of it. The movie I wasn't too, for me, because it was more about the other character, Mary, and it was a bit of not, I wanted more Tanya, so, but that's alright. I'll just go back and rewatch the series. Anyway, let's have a look. The first time holding a new Nendoroid, and you know it's like the one of the best things ever, holding like a little kitten. Oh, she's so cute. And the details of her hair painted very well. So I did have to get this aftermarket price, so they haven't planned re-release. So I end up paying more than she was initially put up for, but that's okay. I looked around and found the best I could at the time, and I'm like, yep, you know what, I'm happy with this. Sadly, she does not have a magnet in her head, so if I want her to wear her hat, which is a little, I won't lie, it's a little awkward. I would have thought they could make it fit a bit better. See, it's for a chibi, it looks a little small. And then I thought maybe if I take this off, maybe I could get the magnet to, because it does have magnet in there. It's just not sticking, or at least there's like a little dot in there. And I thought, well, that could be a magnet, but no, it's not working. I do love that how they've put her. Oh, look how detailed the hair is. It's amazing. But I do like how they've put that on a ball joint there. Now her alternative faces, Good Smile has knocked it out of the park. And in the end, I decided to put her with tea here because, let's face it, it's not Tanya without having some tea with a crazy expression. Probably like Albedo. What I love, these amazing, crazy, devious expressions and that little like question mark hairpiece on top. So definitely, probably, I really do love the quality of this Nendoroid. And even though the accessories, it does come with her gun here, which is pretty simply detailed, but for Nendoroid it's pretty cool. But it doesn't come with her jetpack thing, which I do get, but it would have been cool if you could get the whole set so you can make her fly with maybe some smoke behind. Anyway, so let's move on with the same theme, Good Smile. Let's check out the Up Parade. So I just checked when this was released, and it was July 2022. Yes, no, she's been waiting a while, and I have seen a few pictures of her, and she's, in my opinion, probably one of the better quality Up Parades. You know, it's a bit more, I hate that it's such a lottery, because the designs are awesome, but sometimes they just don't come out as awesome. That being said, you can see how old this is. Well, 2022, that's over a year ago, and it's got the old base, as you can see. What do you prefer? Tell me in the comments, do you prefer the hexagon bases or the round ones? Personally, if I could choose any base for Up Parades, it would be the hexagon, or like a flat, clear acrylic. Anyway, here we are, and even though the lack of shading in her hair, but the hair sculpt looks incredible. It looks really cool. And her little boots, oh, she's so tiny and petite. So cute and evil. So very evil. Well, even though I love it how it kind of questions you, in the movie it was kind of making me question what side was evil, let's just say. Or at least character wise. Mary, on one hand, I just thought ended up being a bit more evil than Tanya, which was unexpected for myself. But that being said, let's have a look at her accessories. I'm not sure if this is the first one, it might have been, or at least the first one that I have, Up Parade that comes with a second face, which I think is epic. Which I think is definitely adding more to its value, and of course they gave her a crazy face, and I was so thrilled when they did this, because the normal face is like, But when I saw they had an edition one, and it wasn't a special edition thing that you just have to bust your gut to get, it's so awesome. I love that versatility of being able to do that. So thank you, Good Smile, for doing this. I think it was really awesome. Now then, trying to put this pew pew here. It's not wanting to go on, and her arms were bending like spaghetti limbs, but I eventually got it in. There you go. It looks really, the gun is very nicely detailed, and I do love the coloring. Don't know why the boots look like they're, maybe it's just the color, but it looks so well shaded in comparison to the rest of the figure that also could just be the gloss finish on them. Anyway, just pops on just like so, and very clean, very demure. A pretty epic cost-wise figure. Like, yeah, no, I really love how they've done this. Yeah. And I actually saw one of these. Someone sold one for 20 AUD dollars on Marketplace in Australia. I'm not sure if it's sold, but I saw that. I'm like, if I didn't have it already, I was tempted to buy it a second time. Though if it was maybe a little bit different, but yeah, that was just so awesome. Well, I mean, whoever got that figure, that would have been awesome for, but I'm just like, wow. So make sure to keep your eyes out on secondhand marketplaces, because you never know what deal you could snag, because that one is probably one of my favorite pop-up parades. You're definitely getting the quality out of that. Now let's have a look at this, and dare I say, Grail. It wasn't going to be the end of the earth if I couldn't get this, but it was definitely a Tanya figure I really wanted to get, because she has all her proper flying equipment and the little gemstone and the gun as well. It is a really cool figure, all in battle too, like just flying. The only thing I haven't got here is her Figma, which the only reason I haven't picked that up is because it's selling for almost $300, and or like, you know, just an above $200 things, and I can't justify that. Anyway, how cool was that, like, explosion inside of the box with all that fiery chaos? Talking of cool chaos, even though you've got like a clean, plain, basic base, it is upgraded with this awesome cloud trail pattern here, which makes for a really nice aesthetic base, I think, at least. Pretty awesome. Now let's just carefully take her up here. I'm not sure which leg is broken. Oh, and as you saw in the box there, I pointed, a piece of her hair actually has broken off, which is a bit sad. Have to fix that, but they did say damage, so I'm opening this expecting the worst and seeing what I can do. Even though, I mean, battle scars, you know? What can I say? And look at that crazy face. I really do love the sculpt of this figure. So that's where the hair piece broke off, and you can see, oh, the head almost came off there. There's a little dent there from, I'm guessing the head must have, the whole figure must have fallen off a shelf. That's what it kind of feels like. Kind of a little bit unnerving how they've got like the little zipper there. So yes, I'm scared to break this figure. But, oh, and look at the really cool dome there. That's actually clear and catching light, which is pretty awesome. But I just love the sculpt. The fabric here, like her suit, the baggy pants and arms, the vest, and look at her boot here with the hose. That is, well, it's probably electrical wise, I'm guessing. That is really cool for her like jetpack. And oh, there we go, we found the broken foot, but that is actually quite sturdy. So this, even though it looks like it was glued in, that did snap out, but it is kind of a peg piece. So I wonder if I even need to glue that. We'll test it out. But it goes back in pretty well. Her alternative face, which is like, oh, look at that stare. Make anyone want to run away. You maggots. And oh, of course, look at this, her weapon, and details are very nice in the strap, and look at the little buckles there as well, very nice. Ooh, and of course the wood kind of color. It works. It is so easy for anime figures, like the color of like wooden pieces such as like chairs and accessories like this weapon, to just get the wrong brown. So I'm glad it's kind of got the right color. Talking of putting this in though, it's a bit of a struggle. As you can see, I got it in there, but it's not fiddling flushly in with the peg on the right arm. And then the more I push it in there, it's going further from the other hand that needs to hold it. I double checked the reference a few times to make sure that I am positioning it where the pictures are, but it may not be that perfect. And so I just position it as middle as I can, and all together, here she is. Of course, my camera had to just snap out when I was putting her in the base. The back pedal foot was harder to put in and doesn't sit flush, but that's okay. It doesn't really draw away. But look at her all together here. You can see why I'm like, she's the ultimate Tanya figure. So awesome. Her hair, the movement feel of this piece, it's on another level in comparison to her other figures, of course. But this is, yeah, it's a very awesome piece to add to the collection. She'll be god of her own shrine. And of course, our final contender, and that is the FNX Tanya in the chair. I think there was a lot of debate over her face, but considering how difficult the expression is, I think they did really well when referencing the artwork. And look at this box, it feels so luxurious, and I guess you would hope so. The price was bordering just under what I'd probably want to spend for it, and like as in, it was just like, okay, I can justify this, but still it is on more of the expensive side. But I guess last year's Christmas present. And look, you open it up and you got the Tanya in there, so luxurious. But I'm keen because even just by looking through the front blister, I can already see the shading, and I'm just in awe of how beautiful this looks. Ooh, and of course, Tanya sitting in like kind of like a throne stance, looking like, ugh, it's not going well, I hate you being X, I will get you one day. It's just, that had to be added to the shrine, of course. Not to mention this was like the only scale I got to pre-order. So out of all of these, the only two I got to pre-order was the Pop-Up Parade and this figure. Oh, talking of chair details, look at the shading. Oh, this chair. This is probably the best figure chair I've gotten to see. It's so gorgeous, the details, and you think how could you muck up a chair, but just having a bit of an off color details, it can make it look a bit more fake, but this looks so realistic. I love the shading. They've done so well there. And interesting, it doesn't come with a base plate, so that's probably good then. And we've got the little gun. I would have liked some texture on the handle, I won't lie. It is a little plain. Pew, 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 pew. But otherwise, I mean, it is pretty tiny, but otherwise it will look pretty good in the aesthetic. Now then, pick her up, and oh, Lucia's so angry. I love the shading. I think they've done it quite well. She is, scale-wise, she's pretty decent. Definitely feels 1/7 scale, which is very nice. And the hair sculpt here is, I'm just admiring that, can you see? And the perfect little hair flick. You can see her little collar there. The buttons look a bit, I don't know, boring, but if they're referencing the artwork, they could have added a bit more shine, I think. But then again, I'm not sure if that would shine out too much, because this is kind of her desert apparel, and her little watch there is still a little plain like the other figure. The one when she's sitting on like a jet engine, the fog watch there was, yeah, could have used more detail. And look at her feet too. The skin tone is perfect and beautifully highlighted with some blushing too. You know, it looks like she has one of those creepy real flesh heels with that little peg at the bottom. Now let's put her little weapon in her hand. That was probably the easiest out of every figure I've just unboxed here. And wow, I guess we just put her in the chair then. Oh, and yeah, no, that just fits in nicely. I just might push it a bit. Look how flush that is. Oh, that is perfect. And her hand did, grabbing the chair did pop up a little bit if I moved the whole thing, but once I set it down in place and re-put it there, then it fits perfectly. They definitely have amazing quality control with this figure. And I think it's so awesome, and it's definitely different from other figures I have as well. Oh, you even got the little authenticity text on the bottom of the chair. That's a nice addition. And yeah, I'm not missing the base plate at all, despite... Yeah, no, I'm not missing it. And I probably, even if I got one, I probably wouldn't have been displayed it with it, but boop. Oh, and here when I'm trying to get a group shot, Monsieur Snowflake is here. Hello, sweetie. What do you think? He's probably thinking, they can't be more evil than I. No. Little Bobby. Anyway, here we are with my amazing haul. It's been... I've been wanting to show you all this so much for a while, but now just was the perfect time, so I'm so glad I was able to unbox everything. Goodness, what an absolute haul for Tanya. Now then, you think we're finished? So let's bring in my other Tanyas here. So of course the one I said before in the jet plane, and you know why? And first I'll say, this figure I also got secondhand, and see the little tip of the gun there, like the whole thin section, that broke off, and I glued that back on. Look how well I did. You can't even tell it was snapped off. That was very time consuming and like sweating, because you don't want to muck up with glue, because then glue removal is like damaging. So I actually have the alternative head for this, which I bought separately. Shock horror. So now I thought I'd unbox it with everyone else and change the heads. So let me know which you prefer. This is the alternative, which the hair sculpt for this is so much more dynamic and intense. It reminds me like the opening intro when she's aiming down, looking at the nutcracker and shoots it. That's the intensity and the exact pose. Now then, again with the hat, oh Tanya, we're not having the best luck today with those. Oh, I think it's gonna need some blue tack. But it's a very beautifully detailed too, and at least the size looks right, unlike the Nendoroid one that just feels off. So comparison, the one on the right is the one I had on before, and if you want to have her without the hat, you actually take her little hairpiece out of this one and put it onto the other one that does have like a little spot. You can put that in, but I'm gonna have her with the hat, of course. One of the main reasons why I got this. So again, with the help of blue tack, let's put this on. But yeah, no, when I found out this edition existed, yeah, this is again a figure that was very expensive. I ended up finding a good price on Australia eBay. 120 I got for the original figure, that's without a box, and it did break in shipping, but it was pretty awesome. And you can see the really cool pose here. This is so Tanya. So I was hunting for her head and I was so lucked out and found it eventually. So yeah, here they are all together, and here they are in the Tanya shine. It is finally complete. How epic is this? So this is the best arrangement I've found working until I can get some little acrylic risers in there. Even though I'm not sure if we'll need it. It's only the kimono one in the background that's kind of leaning a little bit backwards. Oh, the little T-pose there. And oh, that alternative head, I'm so glad I got that. That is just, it's perfect. Thank you all so much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content by moi. And until next time, take care, treat yourself, and I'll see you then. Bye!